this is for if you're struggling with men approaching you, even if you're being bombarded by men and you're feeling overwhelmed, you definitely want to watch this. And also the scenario where maybe you go on the first date and then he falls off, or maybe you've gone on a few dates and then he falls off. So if you've been struggling with any one of those scenarios, then you definitely want to stay tuned for this live stream.
And I'm Coach B, lifelong bachelor, who I've been the guy in a couple of those situations, so I'll be able to help you out definitely. This is my beautiful wife, Natasha, former single mom of four. So we're definitely just ready to jump in and help you ladies out today.
Okay, so I'm curious, honey, which scenarios have you been in?
Well, just ask. Just ask me which ones, and I'll tell you which ones I've been in.
Of the ones that I just said.
Probably 3 or 4 of them. I don't know. I've been on
I'm putting him on the spot.
I've been on
for
I've
our
been on
entertainment purposes.
first dates and haven't followed up.
Okay.
I've been on a couple of dates and have gone ghost. So all of the above, fellas. If you're in the comments and you've been all of the above as well, just give me some support, please.
Yes, I love this. I love this because we're on the other side of it now, right? I was the single mom dating back on the dating scene. So I understand how the ladies feel. And then, of course, you know, I'm a former RN, hormone coach turned feminine energy coach. So I really help women in the area of inner healing, healing your nervous system, and really thriving in dating and in marriage. And, you know, I have a different perspective now, right? I was married before, but going back into the dating scene as a single mom is a whole different ball game. And going into the dating scene in this day and age, where we got social media and dating apps, and literally you can date anyone around the world, like we met internationally as well, it can be so overwhelming to the nervous system. So if that is you, you are in the right place. There's nothing wrong with you. That is totally normal. And this is really what we specialize in. Yeah.
And it's so good, too. Just being able to share our specific stories. The one thing I want you ladies to know as well is a lot of times these guys are doing things and it's subconscious. So it's not that these are bad guys or they're trying to hurt you or anything like that, but it all comes down to the energy that you're giving and what you're allowing. And based on that, guys understand, like in our situation, because it wasn't like I was 5 years healed from it, but I was understanding, going through the healing journey. So when we came across each other, I was in better position to make good decisions and not continue in that same cycle.
Yeah, this is why this is so good. And so for those of you that don't know, Coach B was formerly engaged before. So, you know, went through that whole process, actually had a whole wedding planned.
Yes.
You know, invitations sent. I'm acting like I was there. I was not there. I just know the story. You know, invitations sent out and everything, and you know, they called the wedding off. Tried to make it work, got therapists involved and all that stuff, and it just wasn't the right fit. So I like that he shares that story too, because between the both of us, we really understand heartbreak. We understand having to heal from the masculine perspective, from the feminine perspective. We understand how to date differently, and especially in this day and age. So it just, like, we're just such an encouragement to so many people right now. So I love it.
And especially how to date differently, because I was in a 4-year relationship. Then the 5th year we were planning to get married. But understanding why I was in a relationship that long without making a decision is what a lot of men go through. Not that they don't want to be with you or don't enjoy your presence, but so a lot of times it's a lot of self-sabotage going on, not great communication, and like we've said in other videos, a lot of things that men do to avoid that and just keep things going the same way. So ladies, definitely get those questions ready, because we have the answers that'll help you understand better how to get out of those situations and into relationships the way that you desire to be in them, which end in marriage, getting engaged, and just a different outcome than what you're used to getting.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. And also over here, can you let us know if you hear a buzzing noise? Or you can let us know in the comments if you're still hearing a buzzing noise, because we are streaming on a couple different platforms right now. So we do have to have a couple different mics. And so I just want to throw that in there. Somebody mentioned it before. I'm like, we're working on it. We promise. But yeah, okay. So, and yeah, we are going to answer your girls' questions. So you can comment your questions. But the one thing I really want you girls to catch this is like for anything in life. So whether you're dating, in marriage, you want to grow your business, you're on a weight loss journey, you're on a glow up journey like I was on, and a lot of our girls are on in our Feminine Energy Academy. What will collapse timelines for you, what will make things happen way faster and way easier for you is the faster you get feedback. The faster you get feedback, like that feedback loop, the faster you can try a new change, you can implement a new change, then you get more feedback, and then you implement another change, and then you get more feedback, and then you get another change. And those are the people that thrive. Those are the people that crush it in business, crush it in social media, crush it in dating, crush it in, in marriage, weight loss, all that stuff. And I understand it does take some vulnerability, but that is probably the biggest advice I can give you if you're the type of person right now, like how I was, where you don't want to waste your time. You don't want, because it's not just about you, it's about your kids, it's about your future kids if you don't have kids yet, right? The choices that you're making. And if you have a certain type of guy that you keep attracting and he's just not showing up for you to the point where he wants to get married, provide for you, protect you, take care of you, give you that princess treatment like my amazing husband always gives me literally every single day. If you're not attracting that, then one of the things that you can do to help that is actually just getting that feedback. I mean, this is what coaching and mentorship is all about, and this is what this channel is about. So, yeah.
And definitely getting that feedback is so key. And what we talk about all the time as well is really not being attached to the type of guy that you've dated in the past, attached to a way of thinking in relationships that may not have worked. So being detached from your way of doing it and really looking at what answers or what do I need to do to get the results that I need. And a lot of times that's detaching from the way things have been in the past, being open for that feedback and being willing to make those adjustments.
Yeah.
So how all of those go hand in hand to get the result you want. Because we know getting feedback can be great, but if you're not open for it, or if you're attached to something, some way of doing it in the past, or attached to a neighborhood, attached to whatever, a house, a car, it's hard to move forward unless you let that attachment go.
Yeah, exactly. And we all have blind spots. Like for a lot of women, they haven't even thought of the idea of dating internationally or haven't even thought of, okay, maybe there are men out there that do want to marry a mom or open to marrying a mom with kids.
Yeah.
Right, a single mom with kids, or open to dating and getting married in their 50s and 60s. You're not going to know that unless you have someone in your ear telling you that and showing you that. So anyway, also I just want to mention before we get into how to be irresistible to the masculine, tomorrow we are doing a private masterclass, coaching masterclass for the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy, and it's all about the male gaze, it's all about the male psychology and how to boost your attractiveness. And what's different about this compared to what we do on YouTube is you get our actual feedback. So you send us your profile photos, your dating photos, how you currently look, and we give you our honest opinion, not based on what we think people want, but based on actual male psychology, based on actual attraction, like the science of attraction, which it becomes even more important as you get older as a woman. And then of course you get the healthy, healed, feminine energy coach perspective, which is myself, and then you get how men think with my husband, former bachelor, right? Who's super honest.
And the good thing
is
becoming irresistible doesn't mean that you have to go out and do something extreme.
Exactly.
It's just these slight adjustments, and a lot of them are internal.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some things that we suggest you do as far as on the outside, because guys are really moved by what they see.
Yeah.
But these slight adjustments, it could be in your language, in your just the tone of your voice, things like that we help you through is so important. So I'm excited for that tomorrow for the private community.
I love this.
FEA.
I love this part. I mean, the last time we did a dating profile masterclass, one of our girls she implemented it right away, and she got into for the first time she went on online dating, and she got into her dream relationship right away. So we've had tons of engagements, we've had marriages. So this is fun. I love this part. I love this part. And actually last week we featured a lady 52 years old, former single mom, now married, lost 40 pounds, did so many things that we teach, and is just living. She quit her job. Now all she does is travel. She married the most amazing provider man. And so this is just normal for us. So we really encourage you, if you are not liking the patterns that are showing up in your life, you need a pattern interrupt. You need to learn something different, be open to something different, because you're worthy. You're worthy to have that, just like all of us are. So anyway, okay, let's jump into it. We see questions coming in. Keep posting your questions. We are going to check your questions in a second. But let's talk about how to be irresistible. Okay? So, oh my gosh, there's so many different scenarios here. So let's go through a few different scenarios. And I'm going to ask you, I feel like I know the answer from the feminine perspective, but without saying anything, I want to ask my husband so he can give you the raw, real, how men think. Okay? So I'm going to give you a scenario, and then you tell me what's going on with how men are thinking. Okay.
Not a problem.
So scenario number one is the girl is just, no one is approaching her. So she's maybe goes to networking events. She goes to business events. She's out at grocery stores. She's out and about, but guys just do not approach her. What do you think could be causing that?
Now, that could be a couple of things. It could be she's attractive and she looks the part. All her girlfriends tell her how nice looking she is, but she's just not approachable in her demeanor. It could be her face. It could just be how she's talking to people. Men don't see her as approachable, so they just won't even spend time, especially guys that are serious about it. The other thing could be, which it most likely is most of the time, is she's not presenting herself as attractive. So she could just not know what hairstyle she needs to wear. She could not dress the part, where she's not showing off, but showing her body. She's wearing the wrong type of clothes, or she just doesn't look like she's in her. And we know it's a difference, but she might not look like she's feminine. Just looks like another guy wearing baseball hats most of the time, or baggy clothes. So usually that's the first thing that men notice, how you look, what you're wearing. And men can make a decision based on that, because what we're not going to do as men, we're not going to try to figure out what you'll look like if you wore stuff that was nice looking. You already have to be attractive. So if you're attractive, and if you're in your soft energy, if you're approachable, then we'll say, okay, she might not be dressed up, but she still looks good. But if you're not approachable and or you're just dressed in a way that's like doesn't cause any spark, then guys will avoid approaching you, because they're not trying to figure out how you're looking when you're actually trying.
Okay, that's really good. I mean, that's honest, right? They're not attracted to you, right? And it's subconscious. Here's a couple tips for you ladies, okay? One is, you're not wearing navy blue. Like, I'm wearing navy blue. This is part of the reason why I wore this today. I mean, I think it's a cute top, of course. And the reason why I want to bring this up is we were watching a couple of Pop the Balloon episodes. We need to break these videos down.
Yes.
And there were two girls on there. These are two different scenarios. They were beautiful girl. One was like a blonde Barbie doll. One was a mixed looking girl, beautiful girls. They were wearing blue and they gave off friend energy. And so it wasn't like their size or that they weren't pretty girls. It was that they were giving off the friend energy, and neither one of these girls got picked. And in both of those scenarios, guys kept saying, I don't know what it is, but I feel like you'd be a good friend.
Yep.
I feel like you'd be a good friend, and I'm just getting friend vibes from you. Men can't explain it. But what happens is, and I'm not saying if you wear blue, no man is going to be attracted to you, or if you wear red, every man's going to be attracted to you. No, but it's these little things that do make a difference. They absolutely make a difference. And you as a woman, if you are serious about attracting healthy, masculine provider men, like high quality men, one of the smartest things you can do as a woman is, it's not about your degrees, it's about actually understanding feminine intelligence and how the masculine brain is wired. Okay? So anyway, so that was the big thing, is it was how they were dressed, and it was the energy that they were giving off. Another thing I want to point out too, this is science-based, research-based, is a recent research study came out and they were looking at attractiveness, even with beautiful women, even with what people would call attractive women. And one of the biggest reasons why people don't approach them as much or as often had to do with the energy that they give off. And so this is so subconscious, ladies, so subconscious. But a lot of times women have a look on their face and they look so serious. They look focused, and you might not be mad. You just might be thinking, what do I need to cook for dinner tonight? Right? But all that energy is up in your head. You're focused. Maybe you're at a business event. Maybe you're insecure. Maybe you're feeling, oh man, I hate what I'm wearing. I'm feeling fat today. Oh, I don't like that. Ooh, those people, they're judging me. They don't like me because of this. They don't like me because of that. You got all these thoughts floating around in your head, and it's showing in your energy. And it does not matter how beautiful you are, babe. When you're embodied in that energy, no man is going to approach you.
No, that's 100% on point. A lot of times we don't even understand it, but it's just that energy of like what men do. Like men sit around thinking, men sit around just in their head, and men are always focused and thinking about the next thing. So if you're giving off that energy that you're doing the same thing, because we're usually so serious, we're usually always thinking, you're not bringing that fun to us. So subconsciously, we won't even approach you. And we see it happen so many times with women that are attractive and aren't in relationships. And we talk about it so much, and it's a lot of other reasons why. But we see ladies who are actresses, successful ladies in Hollywood that are 40, 50, 60 years old and single. And a lot of it has to do with just their demeanor and how they're not approachable.
That's so good, babe.
Yeah.
That's so good. And I'm seeing your girls' comments and feedback. We love it. Thank you so much. And Winnie World, thank you so much for your feedback there too. This is really good. I love it. Okay, now let's stay focused with what we're talking about too. Okay, so yes, my man's favorite color is blue, but I think it affects how he sees me. His favorite color is blue. This is a really, really good example of this. His favorite, that's a masculine color. That's for him to wear, not for you, babe. Okay? And a lot of times men can't explain these things, okay? Like this is why it's called the feminine intelligence, right? Now, and there's also different types of blue, right? There's like the navy blue, there's the, I call it like the medical assistant blue, right? And then there's like warm aqua blues that are a little bit more feminine. So not all blues are created the same. That's really important to know as well, okay? But typically it gives off friend vibes, it gives off masculine energy, it gives off business, like I say, medical assistant, something like that.
And definitely note to the ladies, our favorite color isn't what we want you wearing necessarily.
Exactly.
One of my favorite colors is green.
Yeah.
I don't want her wearing anything green on a normal basis.
Yeah.
So
I do like green. But.
That's just more what we connect with as far as how it relates to us.
Yeah.
But that definitely doesn't necessarily mean we want to see you in that color.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Actually, this is a really good point. I'm going to drop this in also. This is how women think. They think, oh, my man likes sports, or men like sports, or men like drinking beer. Men like doing all this stuff. They like working out and like, being all rough and tough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show them that I'm like one of the guys. This is how women friend zone themselves. This is how women get themselves into situationships. You could be gorgeous. You could be absolutely gorgeous. But how energy works is you need polarity. In order to have attraction, you need polarity. So the masculine and the feminine create polarity. But you as a woman, if you're doing everything that he does, and I'm not saying you can't do fun stuff together. There's some stuff that we like doing together. But if you want to really keep that spark, really
While I fix this.
Um,
There we go.
Okay. Okay, you can go back. Sorry about that, guys. Is the do not disturb on?
Yes.
Sure. Sorry about that, guys. Technical issue.
Challenges.
It's off on here.
Looks like it's back on. I see the comment.
Can you fix the camera?
Slide that over.
Sorry about that, guys.
There we go. Can you see it?
No.
Let us know if you can see
Okay.
us.
I think we are
Okay,
we
we're
back?
good?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys.
You're good.
That's annoying. That's happening.
One point I did want to
yeah.
make is being irresistible doesn't mean that you're one of the guys, that
Yeah.
you do all the things that he does, that you just have so much in common.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually you may have a few things in common. Like you said, we'll do a few things together, but it's not like we're going out playing sports, we're hanging out, doing the stuff that I do with guys, talking about sports. Those type of women those aren't the irresistible, those are the friends, those are the ones that's cool, go out to get a beer with the guys. Guys don't want their woman around all their guys. So if you're around a bunch of guys, it'll usually end up being situationships, but no one will pull you out and say, okay, and this is most of the time, pull you out and say, okay, you're the one for me, because you're just one of the guys. You're too easily accessible to all the guys, and men don't want that.
Yeah, there's just no attraction there.
Not at all.
Right? So the best thing you can do is actually lean in your feminine. And what's going to happen, this is when you'll have multiple guys that will want to be with you because you stand out. You're not trying to be a bro. You're not in
Yes.
bro energy. Okay?
Exactly.
Okay, so another scenario I'm going to give you. What if you guys make it to the first date and then he doesn't call after that? What's going on there?
So depending on how you met, if you make it to the first date and you go on a date and he just doesn't reach out after that, he probably wasn't attracted to you. And that could be physically, that could be even in your conversation, it just didn't go the way that he thought he would. Because a lot of times, if you're just talking online, when you actually see each other in person, it's a connection, and it's something that men usually feel like, okay, we don't know what it is. It could be like she's warm, she's receptive, whatever the case is. And even on the date, she's just easy to be around. And if it's not the case, we won't know or say anything. We'll just say that didn't feel right, or I don't want to spend more time with her. But if the first thing that he's not attracted to her in person, he'll still go through with the date, because most men are nice. Most men aren't trying to make you feel any type of way. So he'll go through with it. But if he's not reaching out to you, trying to set a second date, he probably wasn't attracted to you. And he'll stop calling you. Like right away, if you're reaching out to him, trying to see what's going on, just let it go, because it's something that happened within that date, either how you looked or your energy, that he didn't connect with. And he probably doesn't want to move forward with it. And one more thing to that, if you're reaching out to him, he'll respond, and then it turns into a situationship. So if he's not reaching out, trust me, just let it go, because men, before he even gets home, he'll be calling you, texting you, trying to see. He won't ask you how it was, but he'll try to see how you are, trying to see if you made it safely to where you're going, checking to see what time you're going to bed. He'll ask questions and just be reaching out to you right away if things went well.
Okay, so that's good. So if this is a one-off, don't worry about it, babe. Like, don't take it personally. But if you're noticing this is a pattern, right? We always look at patterns in our lives. So if this is a pattern where you're good, where guys are taking you on the first date and then you're not hearing from them after that, that's when you want to get that feedback. That's when you probably want to get some coaching, okay? Because and especially if you don't know what it is, then I really encourage you to just, you can get some coaching from us. You can get some feedback. Don't ask your girlfriends, please, because typically women are going to give you the female response. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of times, especially if they're single, right? And they're like, oh, it's just the guys, they're just intimidated of you. Yeah. Or they just, you're just so sweet. And no, that's not going to help you. Okay. You need to get actual feedback, because it could be something so subtle that you just need to shift that will have the guy calling you back again. Okay. So another scenario I have Okay. And then I want to hear from you girls.
Yes.
I want drop your scenarios in the comments so we can talk about it. Okay. So another scenario is, since you've been there, I haven't been there, but you've been there.
All of these are just made up stories. No, go ahead.
It keeps it fun, right? We're all learning. It's all about skilling up, right? It's all good. Okay. So the girl has gone on a date a few times with the guy, and then he starts to fall off. So they've gone on at least 2 to 3 dates, and now he's starting to fall off. What do you think is going on there?
This could be a number of things. If he's gone on a few dates with her, most likely it's something about her that he likes. So
Okay.
he's attracted to her
Okay.
because he's not going to continue to spend money on her, spend time with her, unless it's something there. It's a few things that can happen. One of the things that can happen for men subconsciously is they start self-sabotaging, especially if a man is just used to going on dates and not necessarily looking for a relationship, but he's seeing that things are going well here. You're nice, you're attractive. It's like, well, let me slow up a little because this going too fast for me, or I'm feeling a certain type of way and I didn't expect this. So subconsciously he'll start to pull back or start doing or saying things like stop calling when he said he would, or he'll say, okay, we're going on a date, and then he'll cancel it or something will come up. It might be legit. He'll start pulling back subconsciously just because he doesn't want this to go in the direction that it's going in. So that's one of the main things that happens when you go on a few dates. Then he starts pulling back and saying, okay, he doesn't follow through with what he says that he's going to do. So
Okay, I have another question for you before I give you the feminine energy response. What to do in this scenario? I got you, girls. Do you think that men can tell if the girl is getting too into him, and that could be a turnoff? Where so maybe you've gone on a few dates, and then they can kind of sense, okay, this girl is really into me now, and that starts to turn them off. Is that a possible scenario?
Oh, definitely. And the funny thing is, a lot of times you'll see men who will say, okay, like we had in the FEA, like, okay, why didn't you call me and things like that. They'll say that to the women, and these aren't the healthy men.
Right.
But men are turned off by too much energy coming towards them. So if you're calling them, if you're checking on them, good morning, handsome, how are you? I just wanted to see how you were doing, wanted to see if you were free later. I was just thinking about you. If you're doing that too soon as a woman, that could be another reason after a couple of dates why he starts pulling back, because it's just too much energy coming towards him. And if he's in his healthy masculine, even before we got together and started going over this and I started learning, I might not have known, or men might not know, that it's that energy coming towards them that they don't like, but it just doesn't feel right. It feels like it's too easy. So now you go from someone who's potentially someone that he could be with to now this is easy, so I don't have to put much energy in it. And when he doesn't have to put much energy into getting to know you, then you don't become a priority, and he starts moving on to someone who's more of I'll say a challenge, but to someone who's more in her feminine and more in her receiving, allow him to come towards her.
That's so good. And I like how you said there's just too much energy coming towards him. So ladies, this can also mean you have obsessive thoughts about him. So if you're constantly thinking of a guy, so now we're talking about the scenario where maybe you have gone on a few dates, so you know he's physically attracted to you. We know that part because, like what Coach B said, he's not going to take you on a few dates if he's not physically attracted to you. Okay, so that part's fine. We know it's not that, but then there's something where he's starting to pull away. Typically what it is your energy is coming towards him. And it's not your fault. It's just a lot of times women don't realize this. And women are very monogamous in nature. And especially you're a nice girl, you just like want to show him how amazing you are and how much you're into him. And then so you start thinking about him, you start texting him, or even if you're not texting him, you're obsessively thinking about him. Your energy is still coming towards him. Okay, so this is why it's so important, ladies, that you're rotationally dating, especially if you meet a guy that you really like. Because, and even if his energy is coming towards you, because what will happen is, and we see this all the time with women, where they're talking to the guy, his energy is coming towards them, and then they're just like falling in love, right? But then he's not showing up. You have to keep him on their toes. You have to keep men on their toes. You never want to, this is really important, ladies. You never want a man to think that he has you. You never want a man to think that he has you, because as soon as he thinks that he has you, he's going to stop trying. And it's going to be so subconscious. And it's not that he's a bad guy at all. It's just masculine energy doesn't want masculine energy chasing them. Masculine energy is chasing energy. Mm-hmm. Feminine energy is receiving energy. That's all it is. Just think of the man's body parts and the woman's body parts. The feminine receives, the masculine gives output, right? So if you're coming towards him, he subconsciously is going to be turned off, and he might not even know why. But if you as a woman, you're rotationally dating, you're making yourself do it like I had to do, go on a coffee date, you have other stuff going on in your life, you're having fun, you can let the guy know you're interested, like you're still warm and soft in your energy. But if he doesn't text you right away, if he doesn't call you, if he doesn't plan a date, you're not obsessing about it. You are so busy having fun. You're living your life. You're going on other dates. You're working on your body. You're in the Feminine Energy Academy. Like you're working on your glow up. You just keep getting hotter by the day. What's going to happen is you're going to become so irresistible to the guy.
And one thing adding to it, a lot of times what we see as well, and this could be another reason that guys start pulling back after a couple of dates, is the woman's energy where she's like, okay, she's nitpicking. Everything he does is like, I don't understand that. Or, I don't like that. Why is he coming at me? Why is he calling me so much? Why is he doing that? Mm-hmm. And if the man starts to feel that, then he'll just start pulling back, because most men, most healthy masculine energy men, aren't going to chase the wind. We're not going to chase something that's not there. So if you're not available, if you're not showing that, okay, you're interested, but you're still living your life, we're okay with that. Mm-hmm. You're interested, you're busy, you have stuff going on. But if he's coming at you and you're not showing anything reciprocal, then a lot of times men will start pulling back because they don't want to look dumb. They don't want to chase someone who doesn't want to be chased. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to be with someone who's not available.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I do see that a lot with women where they do get nitpicky. I would say this is probably, oh my gosh, I don't know which scenario happens the most, but this scenario is probably right up there with what we just talked about, with the women's energies coming towards him. And you see this with single women, you see this with especially older single women, like the longer you've been single, where you are you're nitpicky about everything. Yes. Everything. So just like ask yourself, are you that type of person where you're constantly critiquing things? You're constantly like, nothing is ever good enough for you. You're constantly just like, I don't want to do that. Oh, I don't feel like doing that. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that type of energy with everyone around you. Men will stay far away from you. Far away. They can smell it. They can sense it. It is the biggest turnoff for men to be like that, because the masculine, the number one thing that they want, the masculine, is appreciation. Then that's the number one thing that they want is appreciation. And they want you to be in your soft, warm energy. So in order for you to be in your soft, warm energy, you're in that energy of appreciation. You're in that energy of, I'm happy with the little things. Like, I'm grateful for the little things. And when you're the type of girl that is grateful for the little things, he just wants to do more for you.
Yeah, and because what it is, it shows kind of a lack of respect and appreciation. And those are the things you don't want to come across as when you're dealing with healthy masculine energy men. Because if you're actually showing that respect and appreciation, you'll get everything that you desire from the right man.
So good. You girls are asking really good questions, so let's get into it. Cosmic Mama says, so is dating a game? Because if I'm caring, fun, and have great energy, should I be dialing back or changing that? You want to go or you want
to well,
I'll just, baby.
I won't, now, whatever your definition of game is, but dating is a form of kind of chess moves and, okay, what am I doing? What is she doing? So it's not necessarily a game where it's one winner, right? It's a game where you're understanding that person, you're doing what you need to do, and you're having fun. The fun part is the game, because if you're serious in your head and everything is just so serious, what do I do now? He said this, what do I do? Then you won't be successful. But if you're just having fun, saying, okay, we went out on a date, that date was fun, let me try this now, let's try this. How about if I'm smiling at him, I'm soft and you're in your soft energy, you're playing games in your head just to make it fun and interesting, just so you're not all stoic, just so you're not so much in your head that you miss the opportunity. We have to play games in our head to make it fun, and so we relax as well. So in a sense, it's a game, but not a game where he wins and you loses, but both people win.
That's so good. Okay, so if you want to be successful in any area of your life, you need strategy. Okay, ladies, you need strategy. Business, you need strategy. Weight loss, you want to age in reverse, you want to look amazing even as you age, that takes strategy, babe. You want to date successfully where you're not wasting your time, that takes strategy. You want to raise healthy kids, confident kids, that takes strategy, right? So it's not that it's a game, it's that you have strategy.
Yeah.
And I like what you said, where it has to be fun too, because if it's not fun, then you're just going to be all up in your head. And feminine energy is about being fun. But you still have to have strategy there, right? Because otherwise you're going to waste your time. And it's literally like everything. It's like going to the gym. You see it all the time with people that are trying to lose weight. They think they need to starve themselves, or they think they need to go to the gym and like do all these exercises, and they're not getting any changes in their body. It takes strategy. And so the smartest thing you can do as a woman, and I keep repeating this, is really understanding what the masculine needs and what the feminine needs. And so you're saying, I'm a caring person. And I get that, babe. I'm a caring person. I was a nurse, right? Like, and these are the type of women that I attract into our community, are the nurses, the doctors, the coaches, the healers. We all want like the Mother Teresa energy. Like we just want to save and help everybody, right? Which is okay. But if you don't have that self-awareness that that's not what the masculine needs from you, that's what your kids need from you, but not the masculine. What the masculine needs from you, like to attract a healthy masculine, is he needs to be in his masculine energy. So in order for him to be in his masculine energy, we got to pull back a bit. Now, you're still fun, like you're talking about. You're still in your fun. You're still in your appreciation energy. You still look good. Take all that energy instead of trying to take care of men that are not your husband, okay? Take all that energy and focus on your glow up. Work on your hormones, work on your hair, work on your skin, work on your weight loss game, your body game. Go do some self-care. And the irony of this, which is so hard for so many women to wrap their heads around, is like once you take all that attention off of the guy and you just start enjoying your own life, you're doing your inner healing, you're at the gym, you're working out, you're looking like a hot tamale, getting your hair done, your nails done, all that stuff. Now all of a sudden all these men are like, I want to date you. I want to marry you. I want to be with you. But if you're in that caring, mothering energy with men, you're just going to turn them off, or you're going to attract men that want to be taken care of.
That's so true. No,
Yeah.
I love the question, and I think the response that you gave is definitely, it helps bring clarity to it.
Yep, so good. Okay, really, really good questions here. Okay. All right. So Vanessa said, what makes a guy miss a woman when he's not around her? Is it about how you make the guy feel when you're around him, as well as your feminine energy, body language, etc.? That's a great question, Vanessa.
Yeah, and great question, Vanessa. And I really probably couldn't answer it because even though when we were apart, it was something that was missing. But a lot of times we don't know it. We're not trying to figure it out. It's just a feeling that we get like something's different. I need her around. I need her presence. Maybe she brought like just that calmness out of you or whatever the case, but it can be so different. But I think you can answer it better because a lot of things that you did, I believe, were intentional. And it caused me to see that she's different than all the other women. So I believe recognizing that she's different, even though I probably couldn't give arms and legs to what was different, why I needed to talk to her, why I wanted to marry her in the present. Of course, now I know and I see, we start seeing like, okay, I see what she's doing just in my life and helping me with. But during that time when we were separated, I thought about her, but I didn't know exactly why.
That's so
maybe you
good.
can help.
And I love how you answered that question organically, because how he just described that is exactly how the masculine is. So when they're like, I can't describe it. I can't describe. That's how you know you got them. Because the masculine is analytical. Right? They can explain things. They're logical. They're rational. Everything in their life is calculated. They can explain it. Does this make sense? Right? Like that's how the masculine thinks,
definitely.
right? So if you come along and you're meeting him with more logic, like you should be with me because I'm this, I can cook, I can clean for you, I can be a great wife for you, and you're telling all this stuff. You're coming at him with your masculine energy, your logic. Right? But when you're staying in your feminine energy, and your feminine energy is like your fun, how he feels in your presence, you're not having head-to-head conversations with him. You're just like sitting and listening. You're having fun conversations. You're flirty with him. You're just fun to be around. You're giving him space. This is huge, right? The masculine needs to come towards you. You're giving him space, energetic space to come towards you. These are things you can't explain. This is why he can't explain it, right? But all he knows is when she's in my life, I feel really good.
Right.
I can't explain it, but I feel really, really good. When she's not in my life, I feel like I'm missing something. I can't explain it, but I'm missing something. So that's it right there. So the big thing here, the big takeaway for you ladies, is how the masculine feels in your presence is key. And this is in dating and in marriage. Because sometimes women are really good about this in the dating phase, and then once they get into the marriage phase, they're like nitpicky, they're like not taking care of themselves anymore. They don't appreciate the little things that he does. You're trying to parent him, you're trying to mother him, and then he's just going to be turned off of you. Right? So it's important in the dating and the marriage phase that when he's in your presence, when you're in his presence, you're aware, because it does take awareness as a woman to just lean back energetically and just have fun with him, be with him, just allow him to feel good and get out of his head when he's in your presence.
And that's so good as you were saying it. One thing for the ladies is when you're trying to figure out everything, right? That's the wrong way to approach men. Approaching men is just being yourself, just having fun, because it's not one of those tests where it's like, okay, just write down the answer and I'll do it.
Yeah.
You have to embody this to actually be that presence, someone he misses. You have to embody who you are in your feminine instead of trying to go down a list of things that you need to check off to do.
Yeah. And for a lot of us women that are in our masculine energy or were in our masculine energy, because I was in my masculine energy before, you're just like, just tell me what to do. Tosh, just tell me what to do. Coach me, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Right? Because we're just used to that. And especially if you're a successful woman, you're used to that. You're used to just tell me what I need to do. I'll get it done. Right? And that's how you've gotten successful with business, with work, with, other areas of your life. And then it comes to the dating game. And I call it the dating game, but, dating strategy, dating life. You're like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Right. Why isn't it working? And it's because you're still in your masculine. I understand what a lot of women are thinking right now. They're just like, what does this even mean?
If it's this hard, I'm okay.
But it's kind of like this, you guys. Like everyone has experienced this where once you, like say you lost something, like a pen or something, once you let it go and you detach and you're doing something else, the pen shows up. Right? And that's just how energy works. Once you let it go and you move on with your life, you're not mad, you're not angry, you're not overanalyzing, you're not obsessing about the missing pen, you're just like living your life. Yeah. That's when the pen shows up. Yes. And that's exactly what happened with us, where we went through that detach phase. I wasn't like sitting by my phone hoping and praying that he would call me. Right? It was just like, I think he's amazing. There was no jadedness, there was no bitterness, there was no offense, anything. It was just like, I think he's amazing, but I didn't think I was going to see him again. I was totally detached and I was living my life. And because I was just working on my glow up, working on just doing things that light me up, working on my relationship with God, my divine masculine, because I was doing that and I was really trusting God that he was going to bring the right person into my life, before I could go back on the dating scene, he showed up again. So,
that was a great question. Like you said, there's so many good questions today.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's see here. I see one of our girls from, oh, and then Lala, I'll get to your question soon too. Okay, Alicia's in our Feminine Energy Academy, so I
Yes.
want to answer Alicia's question. Oh, yeah, this is Alicia. Okay, these past few days, a guy I've been talking to for a while and texted me all week, and sorry, and I really wasn't replying because I had things going on within myself, which I expressed, and he checked in with me. Okay, okay, but he didn't contact me all day yesterday, so I don't know if he's pulling back because I told him I'm figuring things out 100%. I'm figuring things out in my life right now, and it's not him, but I still want him to reach out, help. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say, Alicia, and Alicia's gorgeous, by the way. Alicia's a single mom with 2 kids, and she's stunning. I just have to throw that in. Anyway, and she's in our Feminine Energy Academy. So she's been talking to a guy all week. He's been messaging her, but she's like, you've been busy and you're still trying to figure things out. And now he's not texting you. And now you're like, what's going on? Do you want to answer? You want me to?
Definitely.
Yeah,
That goes back to what we said earlier. When he's bringing his energy towards you and you're not receiving it. And then on top of that, you tell him you're working on some things. In his mind, he's probably like, okay, go and work on what you need to. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He's not going to sit around and wait for you to feel like talking to him if he's in his healthy masculine energy. He's going to respect the fact that you don't want to talk to him at this moment, but it's no benefit for him just staying in contact with you if he's serious about looking for a relationship. And most healthy men don't have women as friends. So what you're telling him essentially is, let's just be friends and talk for now until I figure it out. Then once I figure it out, then I'll see if I'm ready to move forward in that way with you. So he's going to keep his space. You're probably, and I don't know him, you're probably going to have to reach out to him, which we don't say. But when you tell a man something like that, he'll just step aside and move on with his life. He may check in with you in a month, a couple weeks, just to see if something's changed, but he's not going to continuously reach out to you hoping that today's the day.
This is a really good scenario. I'm really glad you asked this question, Alicia, because this is, and we see this a lot with our girls too, where the guy feels like you're not receiving what he's saying, or he is chasing you, he is initiating contact. But if the men also need to feel like you're receiving, because a healthy masculine energy man, exactly what you said, is not going to force himself on you. That's healthy men, right? They'll never force themselves on you. And so if you're not receiving, then he will pull away. A healthy man will. So the scenario with you now, babe, is because we don't want to train him. We have to be careful about this because we don't want to train him now that if he stops texting you, then you start chasing him. Because then you've just shown him that that's how he gets your attention. And that's the last thing we want. We want to reward the man, when his energy is coming towards you. That is the best time to reward him. And this is like with anyone. You want to reward anyone, when you're training people's behaviors, because we all train people how to treat us, right? So it's really important that when he is doing something that you like, this is in dating and marriage, that you show him, you receive it, because they're playing for points. They want to see you lit up. Like, just think, I don't want to get sexual for a second, but like how the masculine is turned on is by you as the one being in your pleasure, right? And so energetically, it's like he wants to see that you're happy. He wants to see that he's making you happy. He wants to see that you appreciate even the little things. So even if this is really, really good practice for you, where if he is coming towards you and he's messaging you, even if you are busy, it's how you say things. It's really how you still want to show him that you appreciate that he's messaging you, sweet emojis. Hey, I'd love to talk to you later. I love that you text me. Like, just show him that you appreciate it, and show him what healthy communication looks like. Even if he's not the person like you absolutely want to be with, this is good practice for you as a woman.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I think she said...
Did she have a follow-up?
He knows I've been studying for my test. He did ask me to be his girlfriend, but I self-sabotaged. I told him I appreciate him calling me because that's something his really doesn't do.
Because it's something that he really doesn't do.
He doesn't do. Yeah, that's good that you told him that you appreciate that. And so, Alicia, this is like the ball is in your court too. So even if you're studying, that's okay. Like men understand that you're going to be busy. I was busy with 4 kids. So he understood that. But it's just communicating.
Yeah.
It's really just communicating, like, and showing that you really are appreciative of
And what's so important as well is throughout the course of life, we know it's always going to be stuff that comes up.
Yeah.
And you don't want to train him that anytime something comes up that you're not available.
You shut down.
You're studying right now. Next, it may be, you're watching the kids. Then it'll be you have something going on at work. You have to be, if it's something that you want to pursue as far as relationships, you have to be flexible as well. And you may have to move things around sometimes and not shut off life for a week, shut off life for a month every time something comes up, because that inconsistency, that'll show that you're not ready for a relationship potentially, because most healthy men love consistency.
Yeah.
So if you're inconsistent in your response to him, in your availability, then a lot of times men start pulling back as well.
This is really good practice for you, babe. Really good practice for you. And also, I'm not sure where you're at with dating, if you're wanting to date for marriage or if you want to be somebody's girlfriend. So that's the other thing you really want to check yourself on. And this is for all the ladies in here. This is something I was so intentional about, and I do encourage the girls to do, is don't date until you're ready to date for marriage. Don't date until you're ready to date for marriage. If you're dating just because you're lonely and you want to be someone's girlfriend, that's how women get themselves into situationships where the guy doesn't want marriage, or the guy is, dragging things out, or you end up with another child, or, like all of these things, and with a guy that you don't want to marry. We as a women, we hold that power. We really hold that power. So we got to be so intentional when it comes to dating. It's better for you to not date until you're ready to date. And you're never going to feel fully ready to date, by the way, ladies, okay? No one ever feels fully ready to date. I definitely did not feel fully ready to date. But when you're like, okay, it's time. I'm ready to date for my husband. I'm ready to call my husband. I'm ready to date for marriage. Even if I'm like freaking out right now, I'm going to make myself do it. That's like how I felt, right? Have that conversation at the beginning. I'm nobody's girlfriend. I'm dating for marriage. And then you let him know right away you're dating for marriage. And then that way he knows right from the beginning that you're not going to waste your time. You're not a girl that can be played with.
Yep. That's so true.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. And definitely we can continue that conversation, Alicia.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need.
Yes.
Because it's not just him. It's in this time of your life as you're transitioning in a couple of areas.
Okay, Alicia, we're going to help you with this scenario because you're in the Feminine Energy Academy. So message us in the Feminine Energy Academy and we'll help you with what to say to him when you reach back out to him. Because I do agree with you. I think you should reach out to him because he has been showing that his energy's been coming towards you. And so we'll tell you what to say. So yeah, there you go. And she's like, I want marriage. Okay, okay. So you guys, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the Feminine Energy Academy. Okay, because there's other really, really good questions in here. Okay, Layla Hart says, what if after the first date he messages every day? It's too much. I don't like that.
Again, these are the scenarios that we spoke of. When he's really into you, guys are going to have that energy where it feels like stalking almost. And I'm not talking about showing up at your job with, with some binoculars or anything like that. I mean, he's really going to do whatever he can to let you know that he's serious about getting to know you. And a lot of times that's reaching out to you, that's asking to go on dates, that's him showing like, I'm in this for you. And as the woman, if you're looking for marriage, if you're looking for a relationship, those are the type of guys you want. And we always say, I say this in sports, I say this in relationships, always go after the people that want you. Don't go chasing people that don't want you, because you're gonna have to continue chasing them. If a person wants you and they check the boxes, you just don't feel comfortable because it feels new or different, trust me, do the inner healing, but you don't want to run from it, because the person that wants you is going to do everything they need to do to make sure that you're good. They're going to make sure, and I know we do this all the time in sports. If a coach wants a kid that I coach, when he goes to that school, The coach is like, okay, we'll make sure he's taken care of. If anything ever comes up, we're gonna take care of him. Like this is stuff outside of the scholarship that they're gonna go above and
Yeah.
beyond for. And in relationships, men do the same thing if they really want to be with you. But your energy has to be receptive, and you have to understand that this is normal when men are pursuing women healthy.
That's so good. I'm so
In a healthy
glad.
way, yeah.
I'm so glad you're saying this from a man's perspective. Ladies, this is so important. You want to be with a man that is really into you.
Yeah.
Really like into you more than you're into him. And it's so important for us women because we are so monogamous and we love hard. We're so loyal. Most women are super loyal and we can get attached really easily. So this is why it's so important for women that they choose men that are really into them, not men that they have to convince to be with you. Because if you have to convince him to be with you in the dating phase, you're gonna be chasing him in the marriage phase, and you're not gonna be happy. So a couple of things for you, babe, because I don't believe you're in our program. There's a couple questions for you, Layla Hart. If you're turned off by the fact that the guy is texting you all the time, ask yourself, why am I turned off by this? Does this guy match the type of person that I would marry? I'm not talking about physical attraction. Put the physical attraction aside. I'm not talking about chemistry. Put the chemistry aside. Okay, I'm talking qualities. I'm talking character, his lifestyle, his values, how he shows up as the masculine. Just judge a man based on that only, okay? Because the attraction comes down the road. If he's the type of guy that, he matches your list, he matches everything you want in a husband, and his energy is coming towards you, but you are annoyed or you're turned off or you find him boring or you feel like it's too much, then that is a sign that your nervous system doesn't feel safe to receive. Okay? And I'm not saying this is you, I'm just putting out the scenario because this happens with a lot of women. Also ask yourself, are you used to guys breadcrumbing you? Are you used to guys that are being hot and cold with you? Are you used to unhealthy relationships? Because if that's what your nervous system has been programmed to, where it's just not a great relationship, like you're not attracting men that are healthy for you, or you keep pushing guys away, or whatever the scenario is, then it's really not them. It's really just you having to do more healing around feeling safe to receive the masculine. And like, this is something we go really deep in the Feminine Energy Academy, and it's something I had to heal too, where your nervous system might not feel safe falling in love again. Your nervous system might not feel safe getting married, right? Because of maybe some of the stuff you've been through. So just really ask yourself that. Now, this guy is like, okay, this is just not my type. I would never marry a man like this. For like, I'm talking marriage because he's a good quality guy. If he's the type of guy that like I would not be with, then okay, that's fine. If he's texting you, you're annoyed, whatever. But yeah, just really check yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you are avoiding? Okay.
So good.
And then also, Layla's like, he drove from another state to meet me. Okay, Layla, what is going on with you, girl? Okay, what is going on with you? Layla, do you want to get married? Let me ask you, do you want to get married? Do you want to get married? And someone's asking, do we still have the free 1 week trial? Yes, we still have the free 1 week trial. And I encourage you to jump in now because we're doing a private masterclass tomorrow for the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy on the male gaze. We're going to go way deeper on the stuff we're talking about tomorrow. And you can get our personal feedback tomorrow. Okay. And if you're watching the replay, you can grab the replay.
Yeah, Layla got some explaining to do.
Yeah.
What exactly are you looking for, Layla?
Yes, that is a big thing, Layla, is I want to know, do you actually want to get married? And is this the type of man that has the character traits of a husband and a father? Because the fact that he's driving to a different state to see you is everything.
Yes.
That is such a healthy sign, babe. Okay? Weena's like, I can't wait. Yes. Okay.
We'll look at a couple more questions. Layla, we still want your response because it seems like, especially if this is happening where he's traveling, this may be a pattern that you're in where things go so well, but your response to it can change the entire situation, and it's just a cycle that can happen.
Yes, so good. Okay. chatting with Lex. Oh, I'm new to the FEA. Welcome, babe.
Welcome.
So she's asking, what are some great places to position yourself to be seen by great provider men if you are not on dating apps and haven't dated in years? Chatting with Lex, have you seen in the divine dating section in the Feminine Energy Academy? I think it's like 15 places to meet men offline. Did you see that? Let me know in the comments if you saw that.
Yeah, definitely check that out. It's so many places to meet quality men. So that list will help you out so much.
And if you don't know where that is, private message me in the Feminine Energy Academy, and I will show you exactly where that is. I have a whole section on that. Okay, I got two really good things. Okay. I think he's a hardworking man and ready to spend on me. Layla, you haven't answered my question yet. Do you want to get married?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
We know you're attracting the man that wants to spoil you, Layla, and wants to spend money on you and drive to another state. But do you want to get married is the question. Hardworking is a very great trait of the masculine. Yeah. Very, very good trait.
That's a lot of times that's even just as important as how much he makes.
Yes.
Because he's not only hardworking in that making money, but he's just a hard worker. He's going to do whatever needs to be done for you to feel safe, for you to live the life that you want to live. So that trait is one of the top masculine traits.
And you have to remember, this is what men live for. Men live to make you happy, right? And so they're the sperm, right? So they're going to compete and chase and fight, and they need to go distance. You need to give them a distance to actually travel towards, right? If you're all up in their face, giving them everything right away, they have nothing to travel towards. So they're not even in their masculine. So that's why they just, they're turned off. Okay.
Did she respond to it?
Okay, so she said, yes. The problem is I'm not attracted to him. Layla, babe, heal that. Okay? I want you to heal that. This is a perfect example of self-sabotage. I love that you're sharing this, Layla, because this helps all the women that are listening right now, because this happens all the time. I don't feel physically attracted to him. So I'm going to ask you, babe, the type of guys that you attracted before, that you're so attracted to, did they show up for you in the way that this guy's showing up for you? Because if they didn't show up for you like this guy is showing up for you, and you're attracted to those guys, then that is a clear sign you need healing.
Yes.
Clear sign.
And the logical response is, has the type of guys that you're attracted to, has it worked?
Exactly.
All right, has it worked? And what is your definition of it worked? It's not about just pulling out, okay, he did this nice for me, he did this nice, but him as a person overall in making the relationship work. Is it something that ended because you guys just didn't work out, or is it something that didn't work out because it just fizzled out and phased out? And you remember I talked about this last time, it's more important to be in a relationship that has a foundation structure than it is to be in a super passionate relationship where you just have so much chemistry and you can't keep your hands off each other. Those don't last as long as relationships with substance.
Oh, so good, babe. Ladies, this is how I did things differently. And this is what we teach our girls. We don't choose men based on attraction. We don't choose men based on chemistry. We don't choose men based on passion. We don't choose men based on love. Yep. No, we don't. We choose men based on compatibility. Okay? The attraction will come. I promise you the attraction will come. When you are, a lot of times women that are really in their masculine energy, like they're just so used to being in their masculine energy and they don't realize it, you're actually more attracted to men in their feminine energy than men that are in their healthy masculine. Men in their healthy masculine energy feel boring. It doesn't feel attractive to you. There's not chemistry and all this stuff. You're used to, and I'm not saying you, but I'm saying women in those scenarios are used to the trauma bonding. They're used to the hot and cold. And because what happens is you get the dopamine hits. So the guy texts, you don't know if he's going to text you or not. It feels exciting. So you get the dopamine hits when he texts you. You don't know if he's going to ask you on a date or if he's going to plan something with you. You don't know. This is so proven. Like there's so much research behind this. This is why social media is so addicting, is you don't know what when you're scrolling, you don't know what the next video is. That's what makes it addicting. because you don't know what the next video is. So you get a bigger release of dopamine, not knowing what the next thing is going to be.
And also what happens is you have a good date or good conversation and you start chasing that. It's like a high.
It
where
is.
You're chasing that high for the rest of the relationship. You never catch it, but it's chasing that dopamine hit each time.
Yeah.
And relationships are built more on logic than it is on emotions.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to start a relationship because you're emotionally connected to them. You want to look logically, does this make sense for us to be together? And we're talking about, does he want to move where I live at? Does he have kids? What type of job does he have? What type of career is he in? All these things are the logical thoughts that you have to look at. And starting a relationship, getting married off emotions is really setting yourself up for failure, because when challenges happen, when you just start growing together in a relationship, the emotional sides change. Emotions change by the second. We can be happy right now and then something happens with the camera, we're upset. So you don't want to build anything off of emotions. You want to look at the logic behind how being together works, and is this the right person for me?
Oh, this is so good. Because love is a choice. We as women can control this, right? And I was so intentional about this. Even though this man met everything I wanted in a husband and a father, I did not allow myself to get attached to him or fall in love with him until he had already moved countries and was dating me for marriage, and we were about to get engaged. I would say that was around the time that we were just like, okay, like super in love. But up to that point, did not let myself do that. And you as a woman, you can control that. If you can't control that, it's once again a sign of healing. Because what happens is you're used to abandoning yourself and you just get hooked on a guy right away. Okay? So this is something we as women, we just have to be way smarter on how we date. Especially because, and the reason why I take this stuff so seriously, I talk about this all the time, is I come from 4 generations of single parenthood, right? And I wanted to break that cycle off of my life and off of my kids' life. And for you ladies, for a lot of you, you need to break this cycle off of your family's life. And a lot of us were just never taught this stuff. In other cultures, they have things like arranged marriages, right? And I'm not saying you need to do that, but there's a lot of logic and compatibility that goes involved in that decision. And a lot of times those marriages last really long, right? And so for us, I'm not saying you need to do that, but we need, as women, we have to make more logical decisions when it comes to who we date for marriage, because the love will happen. Love is just a hormone cocktail. That's it. That's all it is. It's you're intimate with a guy. You're spending a lot of time with him. You're going to be releasing oxytocin, and you're going to be and dopamine and all that stuff, and you're going to feel really good around him. And next thing you know, you're bonded to him. This is how we've evolved for generations. Okay, so in order to protect yourself from that, you got to rotationally date. Really be clear on what you want, and when the guy comes into your life that is matching what it is that you're calling in as a husband, and is showing you that consistency, even if it's boring. If it's boring, it's a great sign, ladies. He's not going to cause you drama. Okay? Then lean into that. Okay. Alicia is, where do I text in the academy? Alicia, you can post it in the dating for marriage section. Post the scenario, what should I say? Or you can private message. It'll get seen. It'll get seen faster if you post in the dating and marriage section in the FEA versus, because I do get a lot of messages in the private messages. Okay, so good. Okay, I'm seeing all of our girls here. Isabella had asked. Isabella's also in our community, in our Feminine Energy Academy. Okay, where was your question, Isabella? I saw it.
And Adora support, if you see the question, if you can pin it to the top.
Andres is probably getting overwhelmed with all the girls right now and their questions. I love it. We love hearing your girls' questions. Okay, Isabel, you said healing and fully releasing situationships. I think you have a question about healing and fully releasing a situationship that was monogamous, committing to relationship full of genuine love from both participants. He has so many qualities I want in a partner. But he has lost his job. He no longer felt like he could provide for you and your daughters, which I respect. This is what she's saying. And it's true. It's been months of disconnect with occasional communication. He's always in an emergency. But I want to fully let go and move on. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say, Isabella, is you guys were in a situationship, you guys are really feeling each other. He lost his job, doesn't feel like he can provide, so he deselected himself, which a lot of men do, right? If they don't feel like they can fully provide for you and your kids, most healthy men will deselect themselves, so you can respect that. But you still care about him, right? And you're saying every time you talk to him, there's another emergency, so what should you do? This is a great scenario that so many women get themselves in. And once again, babe, there's two things I'm going to tell you to do. One is, instead of attaching to him, you got to find something else to attach to, right? So attaching to and even writing out, what did you love about that relationship and that situationship? What did you love about him? Add that to your love list, and know that your husband, the one that God has for you, is going to have that plus more, right? And this person, if he's not meant for you, babe, the faster you let go of him, the faster that your husband, the person that's meant for you, that can provide for you, will show up.
Yeah, and if you all have decided to not be together at this time, and again, you have to respect, if he doesn't feel like a man, he can't be there in the way that you need for him to be. So you have to respect the fact that he's making some changes to be the man that he needs to be for his wife and potential kids. But having conversations with him, talking with him, is something that's not beneficial for you in a sense, because you're not able to move on mentally.
Yeah.
And then it's giving him a sign that he's still, it's something still there at this moment. And if you're truly looking to get into a relationship, get married, you can't have men that are friends around, because that blocks the potential man. And I like the way you put it, because it energetically blocks them. Even though other men might not know you still communicate with him, if it's weekly, monthly, whatever, it's still energetically you're attached to him and you haven't let go. So you have to do it for you and for your child. And if you want to be in a relationship that leads to marriage, the quicker you're able to move on from him, and I mean talking to him, thinking about him, the quicker you'll be in position to receive that man that's coming. And it still may be him, but that separation is needed. That's something that we had as well.
Yeah.
We talked, it was great conversation the first couple of months. I wasn't showing up for her in the way that she wanted me to. I was thinking about, okay, work, how am I going to make this happen? 4 kids, I have to take care of everyone. And for
different
me,
country.
yeah, different country. So now self-sabotage happened, where it wasn't like I told her I don't want to talk anymore, but it's mentally you get stuck in a place and you're not even able to have conversations. You're not even able to do the things to get closer to that person, because you're not where you desire to be mentally. So having that space between you two will potentially allow in the future, like it did with us 6 months later, us to reconnect. And we haven't separated since that day. But
literally.
Yeah. So you have to allow him to go out of your head and out of your life for this season, and be open to whatever God is sending your way.
That's so good. And babe, I love what you always say. Ladies, this is really, really important. You want to be more attached to getting married than a certain man. That's what actually keeps you in a healthy place as a woman. And that's where I was more determined to get married to the right person than I was to be attached to even him, even though he was amazing, right? And so that keeps you in a healthy place as a woman. It helps you make better decisions. Okay, so and here's another thing that will help you. This is what I also did too, especially when you care about somebody and you're like, I don't understand why this is not working. You got to surrender him to God. Let God deal with him. You don't know, and I did think about this too, where you don't know if you're blocking what God needs to do in your husband. I'm going to say that again, because this is for somebody listening right now. You don't know if you are blocking what God needs to do in your husband. Okay? So this is why it's so important for women to detach from the man, surrender him to God. If he hasn't fully stepped up, for dating you for marriage, engagement, wants to be your husband yet, but you guys are really into each other and you can see yourselves together, let him go, let God deal with him. And pray for your husband every day. And that's one thing I did, and then I encouraged my girls to do is every day I prayed for my husband. Even when we stopped talking, I had no picture of who my husband was going to be. I had no idea. I literally kept it completely detached. God, whoever you had for me, but I was still intentionally praying for my husband every day. And I was like, okay, God, whatever you need to do in him, do in him. Whatever you need to do in me, do in me, you know? So you're still praying for him. You're still praying for your marriage. And what will happen is if he's meant for you, God will deal with him, and he will come back feeling like a man, which is what he needs. Or if he's not meant for you, exactly what Coach B says, you need to energetically totally detach from him. Don't be talking to him, because otherwise it's going to block your husband from finding you.
Yeah. And ladies, this is literally the cheat code that we're giving you. How to really separate yourself and get closer quicker. Yeah. It's not, you don't have to do anything crazy. Yeah. You just have to follow just small steps. Yeah. So definitely, we're going to get to a couple more questions, but jump into the Feminine Energy Academy. It's a free trial, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Mm-hmm. But these answers are what gets you closer to your desire. And when you don't have the tools, then you find yourself running in circles, doing the same thing, getting more and more frustrated, and time just continues. It feels like time continues to pass you by, but you can jump the line just with some of these answers and some of these tools that we're giving you. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, we do have girls that were, you know, when they came to us, they were kind of like doing the off and on thing and, you know, not sure. Now they're engaged. Yeah. Right. And that are in our Feminine Energy Academy. So it's really, really important during this time frame that you are doing everything that we tell you to do. You know, like the inner healing, staying your feminine energy, learning how to communicate with the masculine, all those things. So this is really, really good. Yes. Somebody was like, Heather was like, I was divinely guided to your channel. Thank you, babe. So many people say that to us all the time. Okay.
What do we have?
Oh man, there's so much. I'm just trying to pick and choose what to go through. Okay. I saw something here. Okay, our Stuart said, yes, you were talking. When we detach, do we stop all communication? Yes.
Simply put, and even if you have to erase the number out of your phone, I would say do it, because you don't even want that information. You don't want that there as an option. Yeah. So even if you have to erase everything, she did, unfortunately, what was needed to do, even a day before I reached back out after 6+ months, she deleted my number, all the pictures, everything was deleted, because you have to make space for God to do what he needs to do and to send that person to you. So we even see it as well. If it's someone that, you know, if you've been in a long-term relationship, maybe the father of your children, having their pictures up in the house with the kids, having it as a screensaver, you have to detach from that, because it's still showing energetically that you're connected to this person.
I'm so glad you said this. And I think we did a video on this, but it was a while ago. This is really important, ladies. So it's actually crazy, because the day that I deleted his phone number and all his photos and videos that we had taken together was the day he ended up calling. So it was like 6 months later. I didn't delete everything right away. Yeah. I was still detached. We were not talking to each other. I wasn't checking his Instagram. I wasn't doing any of that. I was literally just focused on my inner healing. I was focused on my feminine energy. I was focusing on preparing my kids and myself to get married. Like I was really focused on that. And then I remember I was like, okay, I'm in a healthy place now. I'm going to start dating for marriage again. And so I'm like, I need to clean out my phone. And so that was the day where I was like to God, I'm like, I don't understand what happened here, God, with Brian, but I trust you. I will never forget this. I said, God, I don't understand what happened, but I trust you, God. And I know that it's going to be this or something better. And then I went through the phone. I still remember where I was standing in my room, and I was like deleting everything. And then I was like moving on with my life. And that night he called me. Yeah. And he called me on Instagram. I didn't forget this. And then I had to go, and I'm like, I'll call you right back. But I didn't have his phone number. And I was like, I actually deleted your number. Like,
good job.
So anyway, so detaching is important. And then for my ladies that have an ex or like maybe a spouse that passed away, like in my situation, and a lot of the girls in the Feminine Energy Academy have also lost spouses. to different situations. But anyway, it's really important that you delete that also. Now, I understand if you want to keep photos for your kids, like what I did, where I wanted to keep it for the kids when they get older, I put it in a separate folder that's not in like my main phone. And like even with the stuff, there was like most stuff we gave away and stuff that I wanted to keep for the kids for when they're older, all packed up, and it's at my mom's house, right? And so what that does is it allows you to, one, process your emotions, to feel what you need to feel, let it go, and clear space for your husband that God has for you for the next season of your life. If you were, and I've seen this before, where women are holding on to the spouse that has passed away, it's still a screensaver, it's still this, clothes are still there, or an ex, the clothes are still in your closet, whatever, you are energetically still attached to that person. And that actually does block your husband from finding you.
Right. And it's such small things, because these are things that make sense, right? It's just his blanket, it's for the kids. It was a great memory. We went to Cabo together, so I just want to keep this gift.
Yeah.
Gifts, pictures, anything that connects you with that person, you have to get rid of those things. And like you said, if it's something like a widow, you're a widow, find ways to keep it for the kids. But if it's for you, then you're not able to move on.
Yeah, you don't want to be attached to your dead husband.
Yeah.
Right? Like your husband wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you were married to a good man, he wouldn't want you still stuck in that scenario. He would want you to move on. And I knew that. Like 100% knew. I knew he was going to send me someone that was amazing. Like I knew it. And there were so many like little divine things that happened with us that I just knew that Brian was sent to us, because he was like, I call Brian my earth angel. Like he literally has been an earth angel. It makes me want to cry, to me and to the kids. So yes. Kadisha says, hey, Tosh and Coach B, the FEA has helped me get my peace back but once again, I fell off and gave my ex another chance. And because of all that healing and turned into hurt again, but I'm back. Babe, this is why we have the Feminine Energy Academy, because I understand women and I understand that healing is not linear. It's not linear. So there's no judgment. There's no shame. How we have it set up is there's different programs in there. So depending on what you're needing, you can come in and get it anytime you need it. And that's really the best way to do things. Is like you learn something, you feel really good, you go and you practice it. Maybe you're dating again, maybe you're talking to your ex again, whatever, and things don't work out, and that's okay. Then you come back into the Feminine Energy Academy and you heal more.
That's it.
And you clear space more. And you're like, okay, I can't do that. And then you clear more space. And then before you know it, what will happen, I promise you, babe, is you're going to be a completely different person, completely different reality, with the most amazing man that like treats you like a freaking queen every day.
So welcome back.
Welcome back. This happens all the time.
This is a normal part of the process of growing, where you take a couple of steps and then something may trip you up. You get up and keep going. So we're good to go. And I wanted to answer something real quick. Someone was asking, what about if it's jewelry? If that's something that connects you to your ex? Again, jewelry, ring, whatever, sell it, make some money. Yeah. But get rid of it, because when you look at that ring, what do you think about? You think about the person that gave it to you. Yeah. You think about the connection. It's like some things that we can't control. It's like listening to a song. It puts you back in that place mentally where that song had meaning. So we have to be careful what we allow inside of us as far as songs and words, and also careful what we hold on to, because what we hold on to, we're still connected to.
Well, and also ask yourself, this is a great way to check yourself, ladies, if you're not sure. Would you want to be with a guy that's holding on to anything from his ex?
Come on.
Would you? No. Like in my mind, my husband has no exes. He didn't even know women existed until we got
relationship in life.
I'm his first crush, his first everything, right? So that's how he wants to see you too, right? So if you're ever wondering, should I get rid of this? Should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I look at this? Should I not look at this? Then just ask yourself, would you want your husband, the man you're dating, to be doing that? That's like the easiest way to check yourself. Because remember, everyone mirrors our energy. So and I'm not saying this is any of our girls, but if you're in a certain type of energy where you're playing games, you're trying to make him jealous, you're being manipulative, you're not being honest, you're going to have that back to you. You're going to attract men that mirror that back to you. You're going to attract men that are not honest, that are still holding on to exes or still doing a bunch of stuff too. So the best thing you can do as a woman is keep your energy so clean and so pure. When you keep your energy clean and pure, no matter what you've been through, even if you hooked up with a guy last night, some random dude from the bar, even if that happened, take some time. Like we do this in the Feminine Energy Academy, de-shame your nervous system, release it, get back on track, and then keep your energy clean and pure, because then you're going to attract a man that is also clean and pure.
So true.
Yeah. Hey, Ramsha. I love this.
Ramsha.
Okay, I have to answer a couple more questions because these girls are in our community.
Of course.
So, and they just get special treatment from us. So Tisa, where's she? How do I freely accept a man's help without feeling like he is only lusting after me?
Well,
I think we're going to have different answers, but go ahead, baby.
Off, it's a story that you have in your head that he's lusting after you, because most guys are going to want to protect, especially healthy guys. They're going to want to protect and do stuff for women. I don't care if it's an old lady.
It's Sadia. Sorry. I thought it was Tisa. It was Sadia. Sorry.
I don't care if it's an old lady, their mother, grandmother, it's the lady at the store. They're going to want to help and make sure you're good. It could be carrying groceries, because that's how we were raised. We were raised where, okay, if a lady needs help, just be there for her. So him lusting over you is a story that you have to get out of your head personally. So with him wanting to help and things like that, it's just you just being receptive to people just want to be around you. People just want to help me no matter what it is. And once you get that story out of your head, you'll be more open. You'll see that more people will come because you're receptive to just, and you know that people want to be around you and help you. It'll be women that want to help, men that want to help, kids that want to help. But I believe it's really a story you're telling yourself in your head.
Okay, I do agree with that. I have a couple scenarios for you because I understand what you're saying. So in the one scenario, it's exactly what Coach B is saying. It's just a story that we're telling ourselves. And the story that you want to tell yourself is, of course men want to help me. Of course, men. Like that's the reality I live in. And this is for all of you to use this affirmation. I'm in the reality that people always show up and want to help me, especially if you're a single mama. That was something that I affirmed to myself multiple times a day, and it really did become my reality, that no matter what, people always show up in my reality and want to help me. So that is something you want to affirm to yourself. Now, there are scenarios, and I think I told you about this scenario, where it could be a person in your life that is lusting over you, and it's making you feel very uncomfortable, and they want to come and help you, maybe help you around the house and all that stuff.
I have to let you know what he was doing.
Yeah, so that's understandable. And so what I did in that scenario is just not let that person help me. So you can kind of feel it. You can sense it where it's, okay, this person is making me feel uncomfortable. I feel like he is lusting over me, and it's making me feel really uncomfortable. I don't care if I need, my light bulb fixed, I'm going to find somebody else. Yeah. Okay. So it's having those healthy boundaries with yourself, but don't let it jade you. Yeah. Here's the key is I don't want you to get jaded where all the men are lusting after you. Instead, it's like, of course people want to help me. And then you use your discernment and healthy boundaries as a woman where you decide who you're allowing to help you and not to help you.
That's so true.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yvonne Janae said, wow, I'm still wearing my ring and I'm open to dating my husband if it's going to lead to a better outcome. But I also want to date the man at my job, but I don't want to become an object of gossip. So if you're still wearing your ring, babe, you need to let go of your ring.
It's probably got good value, so you can get a couple dollars for it.
Yeah, let go of that ring, babe. If it's like an ex-husband and you want to keep it for your daughter or something, maybe that's a different scenario. But you want to totally let go of that. You don't want to be wearing jewelry from your ex because you're carrying it around. Everything has energy. Everything holds energy, right? So you definitely want to let go of that. Get a lot of clarity on who you're calling in as a husband. so that you're not just randomly dating guys that you're attracted to at work or, you know, down the street or whatever, at the gym, you're just randomly attracted to guys. That's how women keep themselves in situationships or attract the wrong guy. Get so much clarity on who it is you're calling in. Do your inner healing so you become the energetic match for that type of husband, because ladies, a lot of us want the high value masculine provider man, but what does he want?
Yeah.
This is what the Feminine Energy Academy is about. This is what we teach you on, is you have to become the match for it.
Yes.
It's same like in business. You can want to have a whole bunch of clients, a whole bunch of people on social media, but you got to become the energetic match for that first. Before you see any changes in your reality, you have to become the energetic match for that first, and then that person will come into your reality.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, Sadia's like, I can't wait for tomorrow's class. Yes, Sadia. I love seeing all of our girls in here too. This is so good. Ramsha says, I won't be able to make the Masterclass tomorrow. I have a wedding, but we'll watch the recording. Okay, I love it. Yes, you can definitely watch the recording, babe. Okay, so this was really great. I think we're going to log off now, ladies. Let us know in the comments if you have any more questions, and we can answer your girls' questions. Or you can jump in and have a free trial in the Feminine Energy Academy, because we are doing an amazing masterclass tomorrow where we're going deep on the male gaze, how to boost your attractiveness. We're also going to be talking about the 2 different scenarios, whether you tend to get friend zoned, how to get out of the friend zone, or if you tend to attract men, but then you start to run away because it's so overwhelming. Yes. Dating is really overwhelming for your nervous system, what to do in that scenario as well, so you can be super irresistible.
So we'll see you ladies tomorrow.
Okay, love you, ladies.